Grand opening, grand closing.
Welcome, my friends, my family, my fellow gamers. It's your only friend is YouTube Streets Porter77, and I'm here with a video. We're gonna talk about two major topics. Today was overdue, but first, I just want to say, hey, for those of you who are about to enjoy an extended weekend, especially here in the United States, we have Labor Day weekend. I have a 4-day weekend coming up. About to go later on tonight, head up north because tomorrow I'm going to spend the day at what's called Six Flags Great Adventure, Magic Mountain. They call it out here. It's an amusement park. Sunday heading to a concert, so it's just a good weekend for me to go out and about. Next week I'll probably start rocking Starfield at a certain point and see how it goes. But I hope you guys enjoyed this weekend. For those of you playing Starfield, enjoy it. I know we're gonna talk some nonsense and stuff like that, but first let's talk about some real stuff. Let's talk about this right here. You see this nonsense right here? PlayStation raising their prices. If I zoom in here for you guys, for the audience, look at this. Look at this nonsense. It's just starting September 6th. PlayStation Plus Essential will be $80, $79, $80 in US dollars, 72 euro, and 60 British pounds. PlayStation Plus Extra, $135, 125 euro, 100 British pounds, and PlayStation Plus Premium going to $160, 151 euro, 152 euro, and 120 British pounds. Man, look at this ridiculousness right here. It's absolutely insanity. This is all right. So let's go off, right? This is yes, Sony obviously doing some tomfoolery with this. A huge price increase from $60 to $80 a year, and then you do the rest of the stuff now. Now this doesn't impact me personally, right? I'm gonna tell you why. It's because I was smart enough, and I try to hook up the community. But way back when, I'll show you here, I was telling people, here's a tweet from 2016. It says, starting September 22nd, PSN will cost $60. Stack your subscriptions now. They carry over. Right here in the comment, remarks, I said, I wait for PSN Plus sales, then I stack, buy 2 or 3 in one shot. They stack, so I'm good to like 2021. This was sold in 2016. I was good until 2021. Now I think I'm good until, I said 2022. I think it's 2030. Here's another one. Cop it for $40. They stack on top where you already have. And I provided the link. Get people out there. It's legit. Bought and redeemed for. This was in 2020. They stack year over year. Cop it now because I'm guessing there may be a price hike. If you plan to stick with PlayStation no matter what, I wouldn't recommend that. But I suggest you rack on PS Plus and stack that while the price is low, so I try to bless y'all, you know what I'm saying? So this is why it doesn't impact me, because I'm good, whatever. But regardless, that's not even a word. Regardless, it is tomfoolery of raising the price. Number one, primarily because you haven't really done anything to justify the price. Now, maybe if they just strictly rose the price, if the price was raised for the extra and the premium, all right, I get it. They're trying to give away a whole bunch of games, and maybe they miscalculated on how much that actually costs to provide a library full of games at a cost, right? Maybe it was a miscalculation, so they had to raise the price for those two tiers. But why are you raising the price for Essential? You did nothing for Essential. Nothing. Essential still pretty much what it always has been, right? Especially when most people subscribe to Essentials, because we really only care about one thing, and is access to online. We really don't care about the monthly free games. Like, if we really cared about the free games, then we would subscribe to Extra. Like, Extra and Premium is about the games, about having access to library games. We don't need that for Central. If anything, don't even give us free games per month. Don't give free games. Don't even give us cloud saves. Take all that. Just make it free online and voice chat. And even voice chat to a certain point is becoming useless, because you could just go on the Discord. That's all we need for Essential. That's what really most Essential wants. If you want things like games and cloud saves and all these other extra stuff, put that as part of the extra package, part of the premium package. Leave us gamers that just really care about online gaming alone, right? But no, They raised the price for the central gamers who primarily only care about online gaming because, that's really it. If Sony released just a tier for just free online gaming, they'll probably lose at least half the subscribers like that. Half the subscribers unsubscribe. Most of us don't really care about all the free stuff. So most of the time we really already beat the game, or it's a game's like, all right, I mean, for free, it's okay. But in reality, if you gave us the option to just have basically free online and that's it, we will take that. And ignore all them monthly games and stuff like that. Like, it's absolutely ridiculous. So why is this happening? Well, it's simple. For those of us that didn't hype subscription services, we're feeling the pain by those who did. All this stupid talk about, oh, it's the future, Sony's blockbuster, get with the times, it ain't about buying games, it's about monthly active users and all this cuckery, bro. Like, y'all dudes are just disgusting, bro. Anything Phil says, y'all lick his preemie drip. It's just absolutely insane how that dude and that company can say anything and y'all jump on top of it like nothing, bro, and not even question it, bro. It's the future. This is how we can consume games. Like, and now look, man, we see the music industry and the movie industry. They are constantly raising prices on their subscription services because they can't seem to make it work, bro. That's the crazy part. No one has truly been consistently been able to make it work. And this is what we bring into gaming. And the worst part is, at least when it comes to, let's say, the movie industry, right? At least they don't have a foothold in something where they can take you hostage. And what I mean by that, if I unsubscribe, let's say I'm subscribed to Peacock. If I decide to unsubscribe from Peacock, that's it. I just don't get access to Peacock content. If I decide to unsubscribe from Netflix, that's all it is. I don't get to unsubscribe. I don't get to access Netflix content, right? But if I unsubscribe and lapse PS Plus Essential, I can't play online games. So that means, let's say if I decide to buy, Call of Duty, or I decide to buy Street Fighter. I got Street Fighter 6. Won't be able to play multiplayer. I won't be able to compete in tournaments. I won't be able to play against other players. That's not an option no more. You see what I'm saying? Movies aren't like that. It's not like if I unsubscribe to Netflix, now the 4K capability of my TV disappears and now I'm back to just 1080p. Like, there's no feature or something core to the television experience that is tied to a service. So when you unsubscribe from service, you just lose that specific service, stuff like that. But when it comes to consoles, right, this doesn't apply to PC, but when it comes to consoles, if you don't subscribe to a basic core service, you lose an actual core feature on games. So Mortal Kombat, Madden Football, FIFA, whatever, anything that deals with multiplayer, you want to have access to unless it's free to play. And you're screwed, which is ridiculous, right? That they lock behind this core feature. So again, man, if you're gonna increase all these prices, leave those that just want online play alone. Make basic online play. Call it PlayStation Plus Basic, which is just for free. But Sony knows they won't do that because they know they will lose subscribers, because most of us don't really care about this subscription, play free games, or access a ton of games. Most of us, we're either going to play the games that we want. There's those of us that only play a few games and that's all they really care about. And those of us that do play a lot of games, we're more meticulous. We're going to buy the games that we want to play. This is absolutely asinine. And this whole subscription thing is just got out of hand because people care more about corporations instead of instead of asking for the best from the corporation. They're just co-sign any marketing advice because they want to be friends on Twitter and, hopefully I can write to Phil Spencer and he can answer me back to give my life meaning. God, you're a bunch of pussies. I swear to God, bro. Grown-ass men worrying about other men on the internet, man. Whatever, man. Let me move on, man. Let me digress to the next topic, right? Let's see what else we got here. Okay, so all right, so this is unbelievable. This is a good one right here. So, hey, we got Starfield. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy. Well. Now, let me set the tone. All right? I like Bethesda. This 87 score is a great score. It's a good score, right? I'm excited to play. I'm looking forward to playing it, right? But I knew how most likely this game was going to end up from the previews, from the footage and everything, okay? The problem here is you goddamn concubines. I swear, you will now hold Microsoft to actual true technical standards. You hype the hell out of it. You love that RDNA 2.0 talk, but you won't actually force them to do it, right? For me, right, it's, how can I put it? It's the audacity that you try to prevent conversations from happening when gamers look at something and we have an honest question that needs to be answered. And for me, it was personally, what the hell is this game doing that Bethesda cannot honestly provide a performance mode for 60 frames? I'm not asking, native 4K ultra quad. No, just sure, have your 4K 30 quality mode, but provide a performance mode, or provide a performance mode where at least the VRR users can have this mode unlocked, frame rates unlocked, and let VR and high frame rate do its thing, kind of like what PlayStation does. Something, right? Why can't we have good performance for console versions, right? Why are console gamers, the second class citizens? And everybody, just to shut my voice down, shut my opinion, trying to make me look like I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. You don't understand the scale. This is a bigger scale than anything I saw. This is a bigger scale than all PlayStation games combined. And I'm like, you guys are such concubines, because that is the biggest load of bullshit I have ever heard. Nothing I seen in footage. Now, one thing that showed me, oh my God, this is the grand Allah of gaming. Like, wow, look at this. It's big. It's huge, huge. No, nothing. Right? And I told people it is not that big. I guarantee that there's going to be tons of loading. Right? And here's the thing, it's even worse, because at least what I said was when you land on a planet, they're going to load the planet. But then when you leave the planet, that's going to be loading. So they're going to load space. And then when they leave space and go back to the planet, you're going to load the planet. It's not even that, bro. It's not even that. It's much worse. Okay. So let's talk about the planet. So the planet is actually a canvas. Everybody wants to call it a planet, but it's not a planet. It's a canvas. And what I mean by that is when you pick a spot on a planet, you land on that spot, it creates a tile, right? That tile now creates the world that you play in. It creates that little zone that you play in. So you do whatever, it's, procedurally generated, you do all this basic stuff. Let's say you want to go to another part of the planet. You can't walk to it. That's where the meme, if you've been paying attention to Twitter, is, oh, here's a wall, here's a wall, here's a wall. Because you can't go outside that tile on the planet, okay? You have to leave and land on another part of the planet, which creates a new tile. Now you have two tiles. But those two tiles are not connected. It's not like, all right, I create a new tile, now let me walk to the first tile. No, that invisible wall is whatever. And then that little tile does whatever. And you think, okay, let me go to another part of the planet. You go to another part of the planet that creates a new tile. That's all you're doing. You could pick any part of the planet and it creates a tile. Now here's the kicker. You can only have 4 tiles at any given time. So that means, let's say you jump up, you pick a specific planet, creates a tile. Do it again, boom, you got 4 spots, right? When you pick the 5th spot, the first spot that you created is gone. It disappears. So now you just have 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now here's what's interesting. If you try to go back to the very first spot you went to create that tile, that will be created. Number 2's gone. So now you got 1, 2's gone, 3, 4, and the 5th one. But that first one you went back to is not the same tile anymore. It's not like you went back to the world you discovered. No, it's a procedurally generated world. So really the planet's not really a planet. It's just a canvas, and that when you pick a spot, it creates a thing for that spot. That's all it is. That's not exploring the planet, right? Because the planet should have its own dynamic environment, but it's steady. Imagine trying to fly to Puerto Rico, you leave, and then when you fly back, Puerto Rico's not there. Now you're in Cuba. And you're like, wait a minute, what the hell happened? Like, no, that's not how planets work, right? But I understand why it's like that, because planets are huge. We're not going to have that much data on this, so I understand that. But here's my thing. If you can't do it properly, they could have made a better decision, right? They could have said, you know what? We're not going to do this weird discover the whole planet. Sure, you land on the planet, but we're just going to make a nice big map that represents the planet and is huge. And then that's it. You could walk around this whole huge map. And then when you go onto another planet, we'll create a nice huge map that's completely different architecture. And I think we would have been fine, right? You don't have to really walk around the entire planet. It doesn't have to be literal, right? But my main point was I knew it was going to be fragmented. I knew there was going to be loading. So why can't you get the frames up? And the answer is it's just a poor engine. Creation Engine is not a good engine, right? I don't even know if they built it from the ground up. I try to read articles online and they're kind of wishy-washy. They say it's a new engine, but then they keep saying it's an upgraded. So I'm not even sure if it's a brand new built from the ground up engine or if it's a modified engine or the old one improved and they just call it Creation Engine 2. It's just a very weird thing, right? And let me show you another thing about this. Let me show you another thing. What's her name? Alana Pierce. She did a video, and this is even stranger. Let's hear what she has to say. Give me a second. Let me find it. This was just absolutely strange. Absolutely strange. Okay, here we go. Let me move this over. And then I'm going to have you guys listen. Let me move this over. I'm going to have you guys listen and just enjoy what she has to say.
Dock onto, which is pretty neat. Let me try and hit something. Let's go to Earth. So I am now outside Earth, which does have stuff. There's debris. I don't know if it can hit me. I don't think I've ever been hit. But yeah, Earth has a bunch of debris around it. There are some planets that have ships. There are other planets that have little space stations that you can dock onto, which is pretty neat. Let me try and hit something. Cool. Can hit stuff confirmed. But basically I just exist in this field around Earth. I can never get any closer to it. I can never get any further away from it. I can just sort of exist in this little plane where this debris field is and where sometimes there will be spaceships, but it's the same thing. You're just locked in this part of space. You cannot fly any closer to the planet or closer to anything else. It's you have this little section of map that is a space zone that you are stuck in. You can't really move very much. You can only move closer to other ships in combat, which you just fly around in this 3D space, or closer to little space stations. So that's the thing that I think a lot of people have really misunderstood. Again, I can't get closer to Earth. I can't get closer to the sun. I can't get closer to the moon. It is what it is. We're just stuck pretty much right here. I don't really think you're moving in any direction. It's just kind of the illusion of moving in a direction,
Court, two hands, go, 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 girl.
So let me tell you something. Let me tell you a story. So I think it was Busch Gardens in East Coast of Virginia. There was this, right? It's called the Houdini, right? It was this big building. You sit in a chair, a thing locks on your legs to hold you in place, and then it gives the story of Houdini and stuff like that, blah, blah, blah. Tell about he was the master of illusion and stuff like that. And then they say, oh, now starts the greatest illusion you will ever have, right? So now all of a sudden, the ride begins, and the ride is moving, right? And so now you're moving, you're upside down and stuff like that. Everybody's screaming, right? Everybody but me. In fact, I was confused on why everybody was screaming. Because the reality is the ride is not moving. It was the room. The room was moving and made it look like we were upside down. And what made me notice was because my wife's hair didn't fall down. Gravity would make, she has long hair. So if she was upside down, her hair will go down to the ground. Her hair wasn't moving. And everybody's like, ah! And I'm like, we're not moving. And that's pretty much what you saw in this nonsense, right? So what you're seeing is, so let me show you something. I want you to see this, right? I want you to pay attention to this, right? And I'm gonna scroll great. I want you to see. So obviously I muted it, but you see that smoke? You see that smoke? And you could definitely see it, right? It gives the appearance that you're actually, gives you the appearance that you're moving forward, right? It gives that illusion like you're going through and the smoke flying by. No, you're literally just standing there and smoke is just moving without you moving anywhere. That thing is not moving nowhere. this is not happening. Like, let me show you this. This one's really interesting. Look at this nonsense. Look at this. Look at this. So you see, that how that smoke is going real fast, right? You see how smoke is going like real slow, but now all of a sudden the screen is rumbling and boom, you see all that smoke and you see all this stuff. Like, you ain't moving that stuff. Like, you ain't moving. Like, you ain't moving, which causes debris to move by. When you press the button, the debris is just moving faster. You're just stuck right here. And it's like, what's the point in that nonsense? Like, why give us that? Like, why create that type of content for us gamers? Like, that doesn't make sense. Like, I don't understand. Like, I don't get the rationality behind this. I just don't get it. That's lazy. For you should have just scrapped it, because you're not actually flying in space and doing space stuff. Like, it would have been better to focus more on the core gameplay, right? And give us performance, because I think this gen should be. I think the big ticket of this gen is the performance. That to me is what separates last gen from this gen. It's not so much the 4K, because the Xbox One did, the Xbox One X did 4K, right? PC game was doing 4K. PlayStation pseudo, right? Whatever. You know, and it's not like they're knocking out 4K out the park this gen. It's not like it's like native 4K all the single time. So it's not even that. Most of it's dynamic or something like that, right? Or you know, or some form of trickery to get to 4K, right? But the one thing they could have ensured across every games, that the industry could have said, hey, this is what we're going to provide, and this is what's truly going to separate this gen and next gen, so that gamers could see the value in this gen, is the performance. That they're going to give us locked 60 frames, right? They're going to use that VR to its highest potential. They're going to use those high frame rates to highest potential, right? But instead they do this weird stuff and all that, you know? It's absolutely crazy. Now, the score of the game is fine and stuff, you know? So I'm not knocking the score. All right, let me move over here so I'm not blocking it, right? 87 is a great score. But when gamers like me had questions about the performance, and all we're trying to do is get better performance, you would think that everybody would be on board the way they had the conversations in 2020 about RDNA 2.0 and VRS. What's the damn point then? What was the point of calling the PS5 RDNA 1.5? What's the whole point of accelerated machine learning and all these stupid terms? What's the point if you're not actually gonna fight or complain or critique to get those performances? It makes no damn sense. Now, I enjoy Final Fantasy 16. Recently, I showed y'all guys I did the plat, so I have no problems with the 87 score. But Starfield's definitely not game of the gen. Most likely not going to be game of the year along Final Fantasy 16. You know, they're not going to be game of the year. I think Baldur's Gate and Zelda, those are the top two contenders easily, right? And so, but all that stuff trying to silence those who are questioning Bethesda's competency and technical performance, y'all guys look stupid now and stuff like that. Y'all guys look absolutely silly. Now, here's the thing. Don't come and don't even attempt to try to say that, oh, it's fanboys, it's divisive and stuff like that. Let me show you something else, man. Shout out to Red Dragon, right? So as you can see here, let me show you something. Oh yeah, you guys already see it, but let me show you the whole screen so that way I'm not interfering for it, right? He's out there, right? He's saying, let me click on this so you can see. He says people saying Starfield reviews are divided. Let's look at what publications with Xbox in their name ranked it versus what veteran review sites ranked it. Xbox has managed to flood reviews with their hand-picked staff, but the weights are greater for larger orgs. Again, many orgs blacklisted, right? So look at the shield side, right? You click on this, you got Xbox Addict 100, Generation Xbox 99, Somos Xbox 98, Mundo Xbox, you know, Xbox Era 97. Like, are you kidding me, bro? You're telling me right now that there's no huge improvements this game can have. That the game is, especially Xbox Addict, really Addict. The game is perfect. Like, there's no huge improvements that you can recommend. Like, you enjoy the loading screen, right? Really Xbox Addicts, right? You enjoyed the loading screens. You enjoy that? You enjoyed those little pocket tile system that you can't cross over? Yeah, you know that? You like flying in space and you're not actually flying. You're just standing still, just controlling the imagery and the illusion. Yeah? Come on, bro. That's some crazy stuff, right? And then you can see the legit sites. And some of them are PC gamers, which I tend to trust PC side a little bit more. But, and these aren't technically bad scores, right? They're not really bad scores. They're just not gonna concubine and be suckers over a company, right? And that's just the reality of this situation and stuff, right? Y'all did it to yourselves when it comes to this, all right? 87 is a good score. Definitely not Game of the Gen by any means. Most likely not going to win Game of the Year. Not going to win RPG of the Year. It's just that Baldur's Gate just came out too hot, man, and stuff. But I will say this: all of you who fanboyed and talk shit about Final Fantasy 16, y'all gonna get served. I'm gonna go specifically after y'all, right? Because y'all talk that trash for Final Fantasy 16. And keep in mind, if you notice, Final Fantasy 16 is a locked 87 based on 143 reviews. At this time I'm doing this video, it's 87 for 40 reviews. And if you know the odds of math and statistics and you can understand, chances are review scores rarely go up with more reviews. And keep in mind, Microsoft purposely delayed the review copies on the more harsher sites. So there's other review sites, right, that are a bit more harsher, right, because they have very high standards or higher standards than most. They didn't get their copy till yesterday, so they're gonna take a while before you see their reviews. So their reviews gonna be coming over the next week or two, and when they come, that 87 score is dropping. And I think Microsoft did that on purpose, right? Because now is the fever to look at Metacritic score, and I think Microsoft banking that in about 2 weeks, no one's really gonna care about Metacritic score. Oh, but we're gonna bring it up. Oh yeah, I'm gonna bring up the Metacritic score in 2 weeks. Because y'all want to talk trash about Final Fantasy 6, which is a good solid game, hey, you're going to get your just desserts. Now, for the people who didn't talk trash about Final Fantasy 16, 87 is a good score. Starfield generally seems like a good game. Still has that Bethesda quality of creating your own character and stuff like that. But the scale, there's no scale. Stop that nonsense. Stop that Game of the Gen nonsense. This is definitely not a game you want to follow the blueprint. In fact, I would say they just need to stop with this creation engine. Listen, hit up Gorilla. License Decima Engine. Decima Engine destroys this engine. Alright? You can make a better game with the Decima Engine. And that's it, man. Hey, anyway. Other than that, man, enjoy the game. 87 is a great score. Enjoy Starfield. If you guys were one of those guys that hyped 98 Game of the Gen, Game of the Forever, guys, you look stupid. And I'm loving it. Anyway, this is your only friend. These YouTube Streets Porter77. Let me know what you think. Hit up in the comment sections. I'll be joining y'all in some Starfield. Now, space exploration. You could just scratch that nonsense off. But, you know, good old classic RPG character creation, Bethesda style. You understand? So I will be there with y'all. All right? But anyway, let me know what you think. Hit up the comment section. If you guys truly thought this was Game of the Gen, let me know how you really feel. If you were not a fanboy and you were sold based on what they were advertising, and it made you believe this is going to be something truly, truly special, let me know how you really feel. Just on the real, just on the real basic level. All right? Anyway, we're out of here. You guys take care. Enjoy your extended weekend. Peace.